Hello again, everyone. Today, I unfortunately have to bring you some sad news. News that I've seen coming for many years now. After a 50-year run, the Japanese television series Super Sentai will be coming to an end. Its parent company, Toei, will be replacing it with a new series in 2026, simply called Project Red, a revival of Toei's previous Armor Hero series. While I am hesitantly excited for Project Red and its opening show, Super Space Sheriff Gavan, I am sad to see Sentai go. Not only was Super Sentai the series that inspired the creation of Power Rangers, but Super Sentai itself has been around since 1975, and was a big part of my life. Now, I won't pretend like I've been around since the beginning. The first Sentai series that I watched to completion was Zuden Sentai Kyurager, all the way back in 2013. Since then, I've been keeping up with Sentai all the way up to its most current incarnation, number 1 Sentai Gojuger. While overall I think Gojuger is a good series to end on, it's such a shame that Super Sentai will be going out on such a controversial note, and on its 50th anniversary no less. But still, 50 years. I'd say that's a good run. Super Sentai has had its ups and its downs. It's attracted people from all walks of life, for better or for worse. It's given us so much to love, whether it's intense action, well-written characters and team dynamics, great villains, amazing suit design and special effects, or fantastic music. You can find it in Super Sentai. Now, I understand that this might not be the permanent end to Super Sentai. Sentai's sister show, Kamen Rider, was also replaced for a short time due to fading popularity, only for it to be revived in the year 2000 with Kamen Rider Kuga. Ever since then, Kamen Rider has been going strong, even getting a foothold outside of Japan. I can only hope the same goes for Super Sentai. Now, I know this is a bit out of the ordinary for me, but I feel the need to talk about the history of this amazing series and what made it so great. This is for my own sake. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you about how the story really began, all the way back in 1975. Super Sentai started its life as a weekly manga series by Shotaro Ishinomori, the same man who wrote the original Kamen Rider, Android Keykider, and a whole mess of other manga. Now, back then, it wasn't known as Super Sentai, not yet anyway. Back then, it was known as Hibitsu Sentai Gorenja, a series about a team of covert operatives with special helmets that worked to stop the evil plans of the Black Cross Army. Gorenja blended elements of a covert spy thriller with the fun and flashiness of superhero comics. Eventually, the Gorenja manga would be picked up by Toei and adapted into a tokusatsu show. Tokusatsu is a term in Japanese which roughly means a live-action TV or movie drama that makes extensive use of special effects. If you've ever seen a Godzilla movie before the MonsterVerse, congratulations, you've seen a Toku movie. Gorenja would run on net TV in Japan from 1975 to 1977. Once the story of the Gorenja team was complete and the Black Cross Army was defeated, Ishinomori would start cooking up a new team of heroes to take up the mantle. From April 8th to December 23rd, 1977, Ishinomori blessed us with Jaka Dengekitai, a card-themed team fighting against the evil criminal organization known as... crime. Jaka was not as well received as Goranger, the show being cut down from the 88 episodes Goranger got to just 35. Many people cited the show's inconsistent tone thanks to the late introduction of the team's fifth ranger, Big One, which shifted the show's dark tone into unexpected, bizarre comedy. There's an episode with a Nazi-themed monster who tortures the Rangers, only for Big One to roll up, dressed as Hitler, and starts making a mockery of the whole scene. Eventually, Jaka passes, resulting in Sentai's only hiatus. After 2 years, we get into 1979's Battle FIFA J. This is the first series to officially use the name Super Sentai, but it's also the first show that was not written by Ishinomori, who went on to focus entirely on Kamen Rider from this point forward. Gorenja and Jaka wouldn't be added under the Super Sentai umbrella until much later. Battle Fever J was more well received than Jaka, with it being able to keep a more consistent tone as well as having a more mild humor. This humor is based very heavily in stereotype jokes, mostly aimed at the multinational team of Rangers that we have this time around. This team of multinational agents are under the command of General Kurama, and work together to stop the evil plans of the organization Ego. There are certain vagaries I enjoy about Battle Fever J, but its contributions to the Sentai formula should not be understated. Battle Fever J was the first series to use a mecha to fight giant monsters. It also gave us the first team changer, and was the first series to have a ranger be killed in action. After a solid 52-episode run, we move on to 1980's Denji Sentai, Denjiman! In the ancient past, the Vader clan, yes really, laid waste to the Denji Star. The only surviving part of the world, Denjiland, drifted through space only to land on modern-day Earth. The computer system of the island, Denji Dog, recruits a group of 5 young humans to protect Earth from the coming invasion of the Vader clan. Now you may think that I'm making this up, but trust me, I'm not. Though it may seem unassuming on the surface, we have Denjiman to thank for establishing a lot of common tropes that we see in Sentai going forward. It was the first Sentai to have full transformation sequences, as well as a henshin device from the start. It was also the first time the Rangers actually pilot their mecha, Daidenji. It also gave us the first non-human supporting character, making strange creatures recruiting a team of Rangers a common trope in future Sentai. Denjiman was also the first show to fully solidify Sentai's iconic look, with soft bodysuits and visored helmets. Moving on to 1981's Taiyo Sentai, Sun Vulcan! With the rise of the Machine Empire Black Magma, the Earth Peace Defense Squad recruits a member of the Army, Navy, and Air Force to create a new specialized counterterrorism team. Sun Vulcan was a strong follow-up. So strong, in fact, that it actually almost got adapted for an American audience. Yeah, fun fact, Sun Vulcan was picked up by Stan Lee of Marvel Comics fame and pitched to American broadcast companies in an attempt to create an American adaptation. Think about that. Power Rangers was almost a Marvel property. My DC fanboy heart weeps at the thought. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, not yet at least. Super Sentai would remain a Japanese property, but Toei would gain access to produce a Japanese adaptation of Spider-Man. Yes, that was a thing, and it was whack as all hell. Sun Vulcan didn't do as well as Denjiman did previously, but it did establish its own standards. It was the first Sentai show to have a mecha combination sequence with individual Zords. It also established that Sentai teams didn't need to keep to the standard 5 Rangers, a note that will be important later. At this point, the Sentai formula has been, for the most part, established. So, for the sake of brevity, I'll be fast-tracking through the next few Sentai, explaining a little bit about them, hitting on what makes them unique, until we get to something of more significance. Ready? Go! Dai Sentai, Goguru 5. A science-themed Sentai with a gymnast slant. Dr. Hideki Hongo in the Future Science Laboratory recruited a group of young athletes to fight a war against the dark science empire, Death Dark. Goggle 5 gave us the infamous Sentai battle ribbons. This was also the last Sentai to use cloth-based suits before switching to the iconic spandex. Kagaku Sentai, Dynaman! A high-energy and explosive science-themed Sentai with a baseball twist. With the Joshinka Empire on the rise, literally, Dr. Yumino brings together 5 inventors to defend the Earth. This was the first Sentai to use the iconic spandex costumes over the cloth suits previously, solidifying Sentai's iconic look. You can also find a recently made parody series simply called Dynaman, available on Night Flight Plus. Shodenshi, Bioman! Another science-themed Sentai, this one focusing around biology and genetic engineering. Centuries ago, Biorobo and his little buddy Peebo fled from their destroyed homeworld of Biostar. Seriously, with how often planets and entire solar systems are getting blown up, Super Sentai space has to be more dangerous than Warhammer 40k by several margins. Using the power of bioparticles, Biorobo starts modifying the DNA of 5 chosen humans. Eventually, their descendants are called upon to become Earth's new superpowered protectors. This is the first Sentai to give us 2 female Rangers compared to the 1 or none that we've had previously, which would become a new standard, especially for Power Rangers. It was also the first Sentai to have one of those actresses leave mid-series, leading to the most awkward funeral scene you will ever witness. Surprisingly, much like Sun Vulcan, Bioman was also almost the first Power Rangers. Bioman was given a limited English dub shown on Texas area public access. Unfortunately, nothing came of it. Dengeki Sentai, Changeman! A military-themed Sentai where the Rangers draw upon the power of mythical monsters. With the Great Star League Gozma declaring Earth to be its next casus belli, the Earth Defense Force, no, not them, these guys, begin a new training program under the cruel fist of Commander Ibuki. Unfortunately, Gozma catches wind of this and launches an attack on the training facility, resulting in the death of everyone except for 5 officers. After refusing to surrender to the invaders, the 5 officers are blessed with the power of the Earth Force, a mystical energy that allows them to channel the power of mythological monsters. This is the first Sentai to be overtly military-themed, which was not always the case. The original concept for Changeman was to actually have it be space travel-themed, under the name Uchu Sentai, Cosmo Men, but that concept didn't stick. Not until we get to Choshinsei, Flashuman, a space-themed Sentai, where the Rangers were kidnapped from Earth as children. In 1966, 5 children were kidnapped from Earth by a group called the Alien Hunters. These children were originally supposed to be handed over to the Empire Mess, who wanted to experiment on them. Thankfully, these kids were safe from being probed by members of the Flash alien species. Each child was taken and raised on a different planet, raised as a warrior and given superpowers. Eventually, Mess sets its sights on modern-day Earth, and the Rangers must return to stop the Empire's conquest, as well as search for their true earthly parents. This is the first Sentai to feature heroes from another planet. This is also the first to introduce the concept of extra mecha in the form of Grand Titan. Hikari Sentai, Maskuman, a mystic martial arts themed Sentai centered around the concept of Kiku, or aura power. When Commander Sugata discovers the Royal Underground Empire tube, he goes about recruiting 5 brave martial artists to stop them from bathing the world in darkness. This is the first Sentai to give us a temporary 6th Ranger, which would become a mainstay for later series. This is also the first series to overtly embrace a more fantastical theme, helping to broaden Sentai's horizon from just being a sci-fi show. Joju Sentai, Live-man! Celebrating Sentai's 10th anniversary, we get the first true animal-themed Sentai. I know this is the 12th Sentai team we've gone over so far, but at the time, Go Ranger and Jaka weren't officially canonized as Sentai teams, so at the time that it aired, it was the 10th. It was now the 12th, retroactively. Anyway, a schism within Academia Island results in 3 of its top students leaving and joining the Brain Army Volt. Now that Volt has set its sights on world conquest, 3 more students step up to become a new team to protect the Earth from the Brain Army, as well as their former classmates. This is the first Sentai to begin with 3 Rangers, and then add 2 more later on. This is also the first to have 2 separate Team Mecha, which can combine into a singular Super Mecha. Kosoku Sentai, Turbo Ranger! Turbo Ranger is a strange three-way hybrid between sci-fi, fantasy, and high school drama. With mankind's rampant pollution and destruction of nature, the race of fairies are dying out. This leads to the rise of the Borma tribe, a race of evil monsters that the fairies have been fighting to contain. With the help of Dr. Dazai, Chiron, the last living fairy, summons 5 high schoolers to end the fight against the Borma tribe once and for all. Turbo Ranger was the first series to have the Rangers be high schoolers, having to balance school life and saving the world, much like other famous superheroes. Chikyu Sentai, 5-man. As Vin Diesel once said, it's all about family. By that I mean, 5-man was the first Sentai to have all the Rangers be related to each other. The Hoshikawa siblings are separated from their scientist parents when the Zone Empire attacks the planet as set on. They are saved and raised on Earth by their trusty robot companion, Earther G6. Now, 20 years later, the Zone Empire is planning on attacking Earth, only to find it under the protection of those same 5 siblings, who have been developing new technology and training for when the Zone Empire finally came a-knockin'. Now, if you think 5-man was a weak name, this show had 2 previous working titles, Vector Man and Brother Man. This was also the first Sentai to give us a full team power-up in the form of the 5-Tector armor. Chojin Sentai, Jettoman! A bird-themed Sentai where the Rangers are all pilots. High above Earth orbit, we find the Earthship, where Skyforce is training to become Earth's primary defense force. With the development of the Birdonic Waves, one of Skyforce's most elite members, Ryu Tendo, is given superpowers to become Red Hawk. Just in the nick of time, too, as an extra-dimensional army of monsters called the Byram have decided to take aim at our dimension for conquest. During the initial attack, Ryu's girlfriend is killed, and the remaining Birdonic Waves are scattered across Earth, granting powers to 4 civilians. Jetman is widely considered to be one of the most mature series in Sentai. The show included things such as a love triangle, as well as the gruesome death of beloved character Gaiyuki, aka Black Condor. This led to Jetman becoming a fan favorite, as well as one of the highest grossing Sentai ever. This is yet another Sentai that was also almost the first Power Rangers. Though, due to its similarities to a popular anime, Gatchaman, as well as the simple fact that, well, birds don't sell as well as the next Sentai we're going to be discussing, it was not picked. That distinct honor would go to...
1億数千万年前の恐竜時代から今蘇った5人の戦士たち。
Kyoryu Sentai, Jurenja! Now we're talking. This is the first of the dinosaur-themed Sentai, following a group of ancient warriors brought into present day by Daijujin, the god of dinosaurs. Now it's their duty to defend the world from Bandora, the evil witch who was sealed away on planet Nemesis. Zyuranger was the first Sentai to show an evil ranger turning good, and add a permanent sixth member to the cast, the ever-iconic Dragon Ranger, played by the legendary suit actor Yasuhiro Takeuchi. But, let's face it, we all know Zyuranger for one reason.
After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Alpha, we just escaped. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes.
In 1993, Saban Entertainment was given the okay to produce an American adaptation of Super Sentai. With that, they had access to the footage, props, and suits of Zyuranger to create the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that we all know and love. Even though Zyuranger itself performed averagely in Japan, it established a legacy that will never be forgotten. Back to rapid fire. Ready? Go! Again! Gosei Sentai! Dairenja! Celebrating 15 years of action, we get into Dairanger, a mystic-themed Sentai drawing upon Japanese and Chinese mythology. In China's ancient past, a war between the Gorma tribe and the Dai tribe raged for thousands of years. With the intervention of the Ki Beasts and the first Dairangers, the Gorma tribe was finally defeated. With the Gorma tribe returning in modern-day Japan, Master Kaku gathers 5 teenagers with high Ki levels and grants them the powers to become the new Dairangers. This is the first Sentai to add a Child Ranger who grew into adulthood when he morphs in the form of Kiba Ranger. Ninja Sentai, Kakurenja! Now we're getting into the first ninja-themed Sentai. Centuries ago in feudal Japan, ninjas fought a brutal war against the yokai, evil spirits of Shinto mythology. Eventually, the legendary ninja Sarutobe Sasuke and 4 other ninjas sealed them away. Many centuries passed, and the descendants of Sasuke and another ninja, Saizo, accidentally released the yokai back into the world. Now, to atone for their screw-up, they join with 3 other modern ninjas to seal the yokai back away again. Now, the real fun part about Kakuranger is that not only are the yokai based off of actual yokai from Shinto mythology, but the 5 rangers are based off of famous ninja from Japanese folklore and history. Sasuke, Tsuruhime, Tsuikai, Saizo, and Jiraiya are all the distant descendants of their historical predecessors. Which just leaves me wondering, what the hell happened to Jiraiya? You've probably seen this clip floating around on YouTube.
Hey.
アメリカン忍者。なんなのあんた。
ふざけやがって。レッドスライサー。今だ。待て待て。Hey you。てめえ。やろう。See you again.
And no, your senses do not deceive you. Jiraiya is played by Ken Kosuji, an American-born actor who speaks fluent English. So naturally, the writers decided to make him a cowboy ninja. I cannot even begin to express how awesome that is. So next time you and your buddies are debating pirates versus ninjas, just whip this little ace out of your sleeve. Shoriki Sentai Orenja! A Sentai themed around ancient civilizations. When the Machine Empire Baranoia returns to wipe mankind off the map, Chief Count Sir Miura uncovers the ancient tetrahedron power of Pangea to fight back. Harnessing these ancient energies, he founds the United Air Force Overtech Hardware, or UAOH, to create weapons and train warriors to use these powers to protect the Earth. Now, you unfortunately can't really talk about Oranger without bringing up the elephant in the room. Oranger was made to celebrate Sentai's 20th anniversary, now that Go Ranger and Chako were officially canonized, so they had a lot planned. Oranger was originally planned to emulate Go Ranger, with a more serious tone and actors from previous Sentai returning as supporting cast. Unfortunately, after the subway sarin terror attacks and the Kobe earthquake happened in Japan, the writers were forced to change the plot halfway through to become more lighthearted in the face of these massive tragedies. This, unfortunately but predictably, led to Oranger tanking in ratings. Oranger still has plenty going for it as a Sentai show. It's just a shame that its most noteworthy contribution is so controversial. Yakuso Sentai! Car-Ranger! Lightening the mood a bit, we get into Car Ranger. A magic alien named Dop has decided to hide out on Earth from an evil gang of alien thugs called the Bozarks. Dop recruits 5 car-loving teenagers to protect him and the Earth from the Bozarks by showing them how to use car magic, channeling the power of the 5 car constellations. Car Ranger is a more comedy-focused series, being a self-parody of the Sentai formula up to that point. Though it does also attempt to be somewhat educational, with lessons about traffic safety. Probably the most interesting thing, to me at least, is that there are 4 versions of the Car Ranger opening theme. The original version, which is used for the first 13 episodes. The Full Excel version, which is used for the rest of the series. An alternate English version called Car Ranger the Unstoppable. And, if you want to get really technical, an evil version sung by a group of monsters trying to copy the Rangers, Bozo Sentai Zoku Ranger. Genji Sentai Mega Ranger! We're taking the plunge into cyberspace for this Sentai. This team of high schoolers is part of the Digital Research Club at Moroboshi High School. It's their job to dive into cyberspace to fight against the world-threatening electronic empire, Neji Regia. Mega Ranger may seem like a space-themed Sentai from the outset, and it was originally supposed to be. The original idea for Mega Ranger to be space travel-themed would actually be taken up by the Power Rangers adaptation, Power Rangers in Space. Seiju Sentai Gingaman! Going from the digital age to the exact opposite end of the spectrum. We follow a group of primitive warriors fighting to defend their world from being raided by the Barbon space pirates, aided by the Seiju, the Star Beasts. Like many Sentai previously, Gingaman also had a different name at the beginning. The show was originally supposed to be called Gao Ranger, though the name was dropped for the time being, due to a popular mecha anime being on the air at the same time that Gingaman was set to air. That anime being Yushao Gao Gaigar by Sunrise Animation. And to be fair, I wouldn't want to step on their toes either. QQ Sentai Go-Go 5! The last Sentai of the 20th century gave us the unstoppable rescue spirit of Go-Go 5. The Tatsumi siblings are all given access to the rescue system by their father. These brave first responders are tasked with protecting the Earth from demonic invasion by Grandine and her children. This is the first Sentai to give us an American-exclusive Power Ranger. When Go-Go 5 was adapted into Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, a new Ranger was added, the Titanium Ranger. This is also the last Sentai to not have a 6th Ranger. Mirai Sentai Time Ranger! The turn of the millennium gave us this time travel themed Sentai. We follow a team of time-traveling police officers from the Time Protection Department. Our Rangers are tasked with chasing Don Del Nero, a future criminal, into the past. Upon reaching the past, our 4 cadets realize they need a 5th member to make their team complete, and recruit a young man for the 20th century to become their team leader. Time Ranger was the first series to give us 2 Red Rangers, the team's normal leader, Time Red, as well as his eternal rival, Time Fire. Hyakuju Sentai, Gao Ranger! Celebrating Sentai's 25th anniversary, we get these wild warriors. When the evil orcs return to destroy Earth through pollution, the power animals choose 5 young heroes to defend Mother Earth and her beauty. This is the first Sentai to give us full-on auxiliary Zords, creating a mix-and-match component to the mecha fights. Naturally, this is to sell more toys, but I can't help but feel that it adds an interesting dynamic to the mecha fights. Gao Ranger is also the first Sentai to use the song Super Sentai Tamashi, which would be the precursor to Superhero Getter, one of Super Sentai's most famous songs. Ninpu Sentai, Harikenja! Getting back into the ninja theme Sentai, this one being themed around wind and storms. After the Jakanja Space Ninjas attack Hayate Wei's Ninja Academy, only 3 students managed to survive. Under the tutelage of their master Mugensei, these 3 are trained to become the legendary Hurricanegers to avenge their fallen classmates. Hurricaneger is the first Sentai to give us a full-on rival ranger team in the form of the Goraijas. The Goraijas do eventually join as part of the main cast, but does establish rival ranger teams for the future. Bakuru Sentai, Abarenja! Stomping onto the scene, we get into another dinosaur-themed Sentai. Back when God Giga nuked the dinosaurs into fossil fuel, some of the big lizards got knocked into an alternate universe. They continued to evolve down 2 diverging paths, the biomechanical Bakuryu and the humanoid Ryujin, only for them to find themselves on the bad side of the monsters that were living inside of the asteroid, the Evolians. Now that our 2 worlds are colliding, 3 teams unlock the latent power of Dino Guts to help out the dinosaurs and stop the Evolians from assimilating all living things. Tokusou Sentai, Dekarenja! Jumping our way into the future, we get this wacky team of space cops. Special Police Dekaranger is the premier crime-fighting team on Earth after peace is declared across the galaxy. Unfortunately, with the aid of the alien arms dealer Avarella, crime is on the rise again. It's up to this new ragtag team of Dekarangers to maintain the peace and uphold justice. Dekaranger is a truly unique specimen when it comes to Sentai. Dekaranger has a far more episodic flow than previous Sentai, considering that there is no central villain organization. Dekaranger also has the largest cast of Rangers to date, with a total of 10 Rangers throughout its run. Dekaranger was a smash hit when it aired, even earning a Saiyan Award. This is also the first Sentai to give us the tradition of the Sentai handoff, a tradition where the Red Ranger of the current airing series will pass the torch to the Red Ranger of the successor series. Even though no words are ever exchanged during the handoff, you can feel the character of the Rangers as they cross paths. Maho Sentai, Maji Ranger! I'm sure the Harry Potter fans in the audience will get a kick out of this one. Maji Ranger centers around the Azu family, a family of lizards living between the mundane world of modern-day Japan and the magical world of Magitopia. The evil Infurtia have broken free from their prison beneath the earth and are preparing to conquer the mundane world and Magitopia. With their mother temporarily out of commission and their father nowhere to be seen, it's up to the 5 Azu siblings to put the Infurtia back in the ground. Gogo Sentai, Bokenja! Celebrating Sentai's 30th anniversary, we get a new team of treasure hunters. The Search Guard Successor Foundation are scouring the globe for the preciouses, ancient treasures and artifacts that contain immense power. Unfortunately, the 4 factions of the Negative Syndicate are also on the hunt, fighting each other and the Rangers to claim the treasure for themselves. This is the first Sentai to actually give us warring factions, fighting against each other and the Rangers to achieve their own goals. Juken Sentai, Geki Ranger! A martial arts themed Sentai with a heavy animal aesthetic. In ancient times, humanity created the spiritual martial art known as Juken, the Beast Fist. Eventually, the art of Juken split into 2 rival schools, the heroic Gekiwaza Juken and the evil Rin Juken Akugata. When one of the Geki Juken students falls to the dark side, it's up to his former friends to rise to the challenge and stop him from harnessing the Juken for evil. Being a former martial artist myself, I absolutely love the martial arts theme in Geki Ranger. Each style of Juken the Rangers come across feels entirely unique, and I love how each one pays homage to some form of Kung Fu or other martial arts. Engine Sentai, Go Anja! Let's go on to this lighthearted racing-themed Sentai. The Gyar clan from the Machine World have set their sights on crushing humanity with their pollution. Thankfully, a group of brave engines have come from Machine World to humanity's rescue. Now, when Super Sentai gets adapted into Power Rangers, there's usually a vague resemblance to the source material. But when Go Onger got adapted into Power Rangers RPM, the difference is night and frickin' day. RPM is a grim and gritty post-apocalyptic show, with goofy-ass looking Zords. Meanwhile, Go Onger ends every episode with a rap song about one of their Zords. You can't get a much better definition of polar opposites. Samurai Sentai Shinkenja! Like the name suggests, this is a samurai-themed Sentai. Utilizing the power of calligraphy, origami, and Bushido spirit, Shiba Takeru leads a team of modern samurai to protect the world from the Gendoshu, who want to drown the world in the Sanzu River. Shinkenja gave us a few things. For one, it gave us the first female Red Ranger in the form of Shinken Princess. We've had additional Red Rangers before this, like Timefire and Kabuto Raija, but none of them would actually usurp the role of leader from the original like Shinken Princess did. It also gave us the first crossover with Super Sentai's sister show, Kamen Rider. This would not be repeated until the superhero Taisen movies later on. Afterwards, it became somewhat of a regular gimmick. Ten-Souled Sentai Goseija! An angel-themed Sentai, surprisingly not defending the world from demons, but from aliens. 5 young angelic warriors are sent from Gosei World to defend the Earth from the invading War Star. But when the War Star destroys the Tower of Heaven, the way for the Goseigers to return to Gosei World, they find themselves trapped on the world they were sworn to protect with no way home. This is the first Sentai to use trading cards with barcodes on them as the main gimmick. These cards were also compatible with the new Datos arcade game, much like how Kamen Decade's cards were compatible with Gamba Ride. Kaizoku Sentai Gokaija! To celebrate Sentai's 35th anniversary, we get to follow around this ragtag group of space pirates. When the 34 previous Ranger teams had to sacrifice their powers to defeat the Empire's Zangiak, it left Earth vulnerable for when the Empire returned with reinforcements. Now, Captain Marvelous and the crew of the Gokai Galleon travel across space and dimensions in order to gather the lost powers of the past Rangers to liberate Earth. Gokaiger established a lot of things when it came to anniversary shows going forward. It was the first to make copying the powers of previous Sentai teams a main gimmick, as well as having regular cameos from previous Sentai actors. It also gave us one of Super Sentai's most famous songs, Superhero Getter. This catchy little song runs through every Sentai team in order, and has been extended multiple times since Gokaiger ended with the most up-to-date teams. The Gokaiger crew have also been major returning characters throughout Sentai. Seriously, these guys are everywhere. They've made multiple appearances in other Sentai shows. They've appeared in multiple crossover movies, including a crossover movie with Space Sheriff Galvan of all people, both superhero Taisen movies. Toei really wants you to think Captain Marvelous is the main character of Sentai. Now, of course, I would be remiss to go on without mentioning a personal favorite of mine, Hikonin Sentai Akiba Ranger! As the name suggests, Akiba Ranger is an unofficial Sentai team, serving as a self-parody of not just Super Sentai, but of Japanese otaku culture as a whole. Our hapless team of 3 nerds use their delusions to fight against the blatantly evil marketing firm B, which is trying to destroy the otaku culture of Akihabara. Every episode of the 2 seasons is rife with Sentai references, trivia, and crass humor regarding nerd stereotypes. This is the show where the infamous Powerful Rangers clip came from, a jab at how hyper-American Power Rangers can be. While that clip is hilarious, I'm more partial to the clip of Akiba Red getting his waifu armor in Season 2, after suffering through an episode of crippling blue balls. Really, even if you're not a fan of Super Sentai or tokusatsu in general, if you're a nerd and you like crass humor, give Akiba Ranger a try. I promise you'll find something to laugh about. And once again, we sprint ahead. Ready? Go! Busters! Tokume Sentai Go Busters, that is. A spy-themed Sentai where the Rangers get a pair of killer shades. The evil extra-dimensional force Vagras is invading the Earth to harness its new energy source, Enetoron. The Energy Management Center has put its top 3 agents and their buddy Roid partners on the case to stop Vagras and defend the city. Something you'll notice about Go Busters right out the gate is that there are a lot of Power Ranger references. Both the Ranger Mecha as well as the Vagras giant robots are called Megazords. There's also the fact that the Team Changer shouts, "It's Morphin time!" when they're about to transform.
It's morphin' time!
Much like Car Ranger, Go Busters also changed its theme song halfway through the series. Though, unlike Car Ranger, where the changed song was just an improved version of the original song, Go Busters has 2 distinct theme songs. Feel free to tell me down in the comments which one you prefer. Busters Ready Go? Or Morphin Movin' Buster Ship. Zuden Sentai, Kyoryuja! We're back to dinosaurs again for that bangin' salsa beat at Kyoryuger. Back in the dinosaur days, the alien conqueror Deimos attempted to take over the Earth. And he would have gotten away with it too, if him and his army didn't get sealed away by the Zudenryu, magical spirit dinosaurs. As I'm sure you can assume by now, Deimos and his army are thawing free in modern-day Japan. Now, the new keeper of the Zudenryu, Tori, is bringing together the 5 bravest and purest people from across Japan to harness the power to defeat Deimos for good. Kyoryuger makes extensive use of Brazilian music and dancing, especially when it comes to the transformation sequences. Probably the most unique thing about Kyoryuger is that it received a full sequel series in Korea. Normally, South Korea does simple dubs for Super Sentai, taking the footage and doing a Korean voiceover, kinda like a Godzilla movie. Instead, Kyoryuger was given a full Korean adaptation. Here we have Kyoryuger Brave, a Korean-exclusive continuation of Kyoryuger, with brand new footage, suits, mecha, the whole 9 yards. Resha Sentai, Tokyuja! Racing down the line, we have this childish train-themed Sentai. Our heroes are suffering from a strange case of amnesia, finding themselves traveling on a strange train along the Rainbow Line. As they try to regain their memories, they find that every station they stop at is under attack by the Shadow Line, an extra-dimensional force that is trying to take over the world and rob everyone of their imagination. It's up to our imaginative young heroes to stop the Shadow Line and remember their past lives. This is the first Sentai where the Rangers are able to swap colors with each other, gaining access to each other's weapons. It also has what I would argue to be some of the most hilarious mecha design in the entirety of the series, but that's just me. Shuriken Sentai, Nin Ninja! These ninjas refuse to hide. I know it's hard to miss these technicolored knuckleheads, but they make a point of not being stealthy. Exactly 444 years in the past, the Igasaki clan sealed away the evil warlord Gengetsu. Now, the Kiba Oni army are trying to revive their fallen warlord to conquer Japan. Now, it's up to Tsubuji Igasaki, the last surviving ninja of the Igasaki clan, to train a new team of ninjas to stop the Kiba Oni army. Dobutsu Sentai, Zuoja! We get a wild new team to celebrate Sentai's 40th anniversary. This blocky team of beasts comes from Zooland, which looks like a bootleg Minecraft world. The Zoomen, a species of humanoid animals, have been living peacefully in secret away from humanity. That is, until the Death Galians arrived on Earth. This evil gang of alien outlaws want to use the Zoomen in gladiatorial death games for their leader, Gaius. It's up to a young zoologist, Yamato Kazakiri, and 4 Zoomen to take the role as guardians of both Zooland and Earth. Uchu Sentai, Kyuranger! Casting our eyes to the stars, we find the flashy freedom fighters of Kyuranger. With Earth under the control of the space shogunate Jark Matter, the 88 constellations choose 9 brave warriors to spark a rebellion and lead Earth to freedom. This marks the beginning of what I call Super Sentai's experimental phase. From this point forward, each Sentai is going to be radically different from previous seasons. In this case, Kyuranger has the largest starting cast of Rangers yet, with 9 Rangers eventually growing into 12 by the end of the series. The Ranger cast is also exceptionally diverse, with humans, aliens, and even androids. Kyuranger established having non-human Rangers as part of the main cast, as well as giving each Ranger a unique suit design. Kaito Sentai, Lupin Ranger versus Keisatsu Sentai, Pato Ranger! Simply called Lupat for short, this show is unique because it follows 2 rival Ranger teams with a cops and robbers theme. When the interdimensional invaders known as the Ganglers steal the artifacts of the legendary Lupin collection, everyone wants a piece of the action. The Lupin Rangers want to steal back the treasure which their master had, well, rightfully stole. Meanwhile, Pat Ranger wants to gather the artifacts to keep them under lock and key from both the Ganglers and the Lupin Rangers. Both Rangers are fighting the same group of monsters, as well as each other to strive for their main goal. Although, unlike the Go Rangers from Hurricaneger, these two teams never fully unite, staying rivals throughout the entirety of the series. Kishiryu Sentai, Ryu Soja! Another Dino Sentai, this time with a knightly twist. Millions of years ago, the Druidon tribe ruled over Earth, with only the Ryuso tribe to keep them in check. That is, until the Druidons saw God's erase button heading in their direction, and decided to flee into space. Instead of fleeing, the Ryuso tribe endured. They survived the apocalypse, and saved their dinosaur companions by transforming them into Kishiryu and sealing them away in hidden temples across the world. Now, on modern-day Earth, the Druidon have returned to conquer Earth once again. But the Ryuso tribe has been waiting for them. A new team of knights are sent on a quest to recover the lost Kishiryu and stop the Druidon tribe. Machine Sentai, Kira Meija! A back-to-basics Sentai themed around jewelry. After the Dark Empire Jotunheim conquers the Cristeria Kingdom, Princess Mabushiya escapes Earth with the Kirame stones. She searches the Earth for people with the Kira Mental, the shining spirit to draw upon the crystal's powers. These courageous and creative souls are blessed with incredible power, and the Kirame stones are transformed into machines, intelligent vehicle companions that help the Rangers in the fight against the Empire. Kikai Sentai, Zenkaija! Celebrating Sentai's 45th anniversary, Zenkaija rushes full force onto the scene. The human world has crossed over the world of Kikaitopia, home of the Kikainoids. Tojitendo, the ruler of Kikaitopia, plans to conquer all parallel worlds, starting with Earth. To stop him, Kaito Goshikita and his ragtag group of Kikainoids are given the power of the 44 previous Sentais to stop him from conquering the world. Now, we've had some wacky names for Sentai teams before this, but supposedly, according to the show's producer, the original working title for Zenkaiger was, and I'm not kidding about this, Sentai Sentai Sentaiger. Yeah, I'm sure you can understand why that was rejected. This is also the first Sentai series to cameo not just outside of the Sentai series, but in a completely different medium entirely. In the Super Robot Wars DD video game, there was a limited time where you could get Zenkaiser and the rest of the Zenkai team as playable characters. The plot states that they fell through a wormhole into the world of, ironically enough, Gao Gaigar, where they helped the King of the Braves fight against the Zonders. Avataro Sentai, Dawn Brothers! The festivities continue into the next series, Dawn Brothers. A more comedic-focused Sentai series, this one themed around the Japanese fairy tale Momotaro. Only, the real Momotaro never had to deal with the Hitotsuki, monsters that possess people who are overcome by their greatest desire. Now, it's up to Taro and his newfound friends to fight back against the Hitotsuki and save their innocent hosts. This was the first Sentai series to feature fully animated Rangers, in the form of Kishi Brother and Inu Brother. Not gonna lie, they look terrible. Toei really should have just used the suits they made for the stage plays. Osama Sentai, King Oja! The Rangers have been upgraded from knights to kings in this one. In this bug-themed Sentai, each Ranger is the ruler of a kingdom on the fantastical planet of Klandathu. Oh, pardon me, Chikyu. Each kingdom has its own Shugat, a guardian deity that takes the form of a massive mechanical insect, which heeds the commands of the current ruling monarch. It's up to the 5 newest kings to face the return of the Bugnarok Empire, rising from the earth after being sealed by the first kings 2,000 years ago. The majority of King Oger is shot on a soundstage, creating a high fantasy world that feels completely different from the usual Sentai backdrop. Now that may sound insanely expensive, but King Oger's producer took to Twitter to basically say, don't worry about it. Bakuage Sentai, Bun Bunja! A racing-themed Sentai which takes us back to basics again. When the Hashidian interplanetary mafia sets its sights on Earth to harness its resources, Bondrio seeks out Taya, a reckless delivery driver that has just the skills he needs to become an interplanetary racer. Now, Taya is searching for new members to complete Team Bumbunjer and continue the fight against the Hashidians. You might remember Bumbunjer from how everyone hated the helmet design, myself included, to this day. And now, we finally arrived at the top, the most current Super Sentai team to date, Number 1 Sentai, Gojuja! Celebrating 50 years of Super Sentai, we get a team of new kids on the block trying to prove that they're the number 1 Sentai team. Gojuja centers around the number 1 battle tournament, a huge battle royale where contestants are given Sentai rings, rings which contain the power of previous Red Rangers. They compete against each other in various different challenges, with the winner getting to take the loser's ring. Our Rangers are a group of social outcasts, chosen by Lord Tegasword, a godlike entity who will grant the wish of anyone who gathers all 50 rings. The tournament aspect gives Gojuja a very different tone, and even more different when it comes to the comedy and the over-the-top bombastic fight scenes. Gojuger is also the first Sentai to have the 6th Ranger song become the main theme for a short time. Gojuger's normal theme, Winner, was replaced by Goju Polar's UB1 Winner for a single episode. Oof. And with that, our Sentai retrospective comes to a close. And what a hell of a ride it's been. As you can see, Sentai really has an epic history, and just like the epics of old, it means something different to everyone. Every Sentai fan has their favorite series, favorite ranger, favorite song, or just a particular fun moment that sticks out in their mind. I hope this encourages you all to go out and find your Sentai. Some people like Kyoryuger for its wild and bombastic action. Some people love Deca Ranger for its great team dynamic and episodic flow. Some love Bioman for its old school sci-fi aesthetic. Hell, I'm sure there are some out there who think Jaka is peak. Whatever you choose to enjoy, just remember to cherish it, because you'll never know when it's going to be gone. Thank you everyone for watching. Please remember to like the video, follow me on Facebook and YouTube, take a look at my books on Amazon, or my stories on Writing Battle. And remember, the show may be gone, but Sentai is forever.